right? We're going to continue on this pagan holiday. They want to call them holidays, but I call them holiday Christmas. So let's look at Colossians 3:17 as always. Bring the Spirit of the Most High among us, going to the throne of the Most High. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach in the name of the Lord and Savior. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach. That's how we give thanks to the Most High by Mashiach. And whatever we do in word or deed is going to be all in the name of the Lord and Savior, because that's the only way we can reach the Most High and get the Most High to look upon us. Everything we do. Ephesians 5:20. Giving thanks always for all things unto the Most High and the Father in the name of our power, Mashiach Yahushua. That's why we give thanks to the Most High in the name of the Lord and Savior, as he said in Colossians 3:17. And he told us in St. John 14:6, no man comes to the Father but by him. In verse 13 he said, if you ask anything in my name, that's by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, I would do it. That the Father could be glorified in the Son. You ask anything in my name, I would do it. If you love me, keep my commandments. Do what I say. So these are rules and regulations that we have to follow, that we see that's right here in the scriptures. So let's go into it. Let's look at this pagan day of what they call Christ Mass or Christmas. Continuing this, we're going to look at Revelations, the 12th chapter. Revelations 12, because you got to look at what has happened. Why are we still, in this day and time, following the things that we learned in slavery and things that we learned how to do from our oppressor or from the enemies, of things that they're doing that the Most High said we're not supposed to be doing? So Revelations 12:3 says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So you look at these 7 heads. This red dragon, first of all, foremost, is a red kingdom. The dragon is called at this time, which is a man. Having 7 heads, which represent the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, the British. The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, the British. And America come out of Britain. So that's 7 leading, major leading heads, superpowers of the earth that came in consecutive order to Britain. And we know that America came out of Britain, which would be the 8th. And Daniel speaks about and so forth, prophesying about. But you wouldn't know that if you don't know prophecy. You don't know the actual history of what it's saying here. And 10 heads are the EEC, or the European Economic Community. So when you look at this red dragon, when you look at verse 9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, going all the way back to the garden, that old serpent called the devil. So the red dragon, we know that the dragon is red because we just read it in verse 3. Called the devil, it's called the devil and Satan. So all these have to be red, which deceiveth the whole world. So that's what we're looking at with Christmas being a deceitful act, or actions that you're actually doing that's a lie, that don't represent a Mashiach Yahushua at all. He was not born on December 25th. And if he was, you still not buying no gifts for him. It's all about prosperity, man. You know, reaping all the money they can for all these holidays that they set up. Christmas, they spend, they make, a lot of these merchants, they make about half the money for a year, just in one day, Christmas. And you helping to promote it, to bring it forth. So it says, which deceived the whole world. Deceit means to lie to the whole world. He was cast out. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. You see that? So when you look at that, and you look at the dragons, Job 30 and 29. And I memorize it because we always go to Job 30 and 30. My skin is black upon me. So the verse before that, let's look at what it says. Job 30 and 29. Concerning these dragons, because a lot of y'all might say dragon, y'all think it's some kind of dragon that Esau done showed you in his movies and so forth. Nah, look, Job 30 and 29. I am a brother to dragons. See, and see, we a brother to dragons because who is Esau? Esau is our brother. You see. So we a brother to dragons. We talking about the men that he was dealing with, but still, you looking at Esau is whose brother? Jacob's brother. Jacob and Esau, going all the way back to Genesis 25, 25, and 26. So, Most High is speaking so that in these last days, he bring understanding through his spirit, through a Mashiach Yahushua, who's speaking to us, through the spirit of the Most High, to bring back the understanding to the ones that he want to be chosen. Everybody not chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. He wants you to understand this spiritually. It's all spiritually. If you can't understand spiritually, then you're not really there, because only thing you're going to do is be like they was, show us a sign, show us a sign. The only sign I'm going to show you is the fact that I'm going to be in the earth 3 days, just like Jonah. And I'm going to rise on the 3rd day. That's it. I mean, most all the miracles that he done, that couldn't be put in all the books, all the books of the world couldn't contain the miracles that Mashiach Yahushua did, and they're going to ask him for a sign. What more you need to see? You seeing the dead being raised to be alive again? You seeing all the miracles, the lame being blind from birth to see again? I mean, what else do you need to see? You don't think that they didn't know about it. Shoot, the Edomite lady from Canaan that came from Canaan. Phoenicia, I mean, she came all the way there knowing that Mashiach Yahushua had power, asking him to heal her daughter. So don't think nobody knew about him. He just didn't make himself in a reputation. Reputation come with those big mouth people that talked about him when he said, don't tell nobody I healed you. Don't tell nobody I did this. He didn't make himself in a reputation. So that's the spirit that brothers got to really look at. You know, it's going to happen. You don't have to make yourself no reputation. The Most High going to give you exaltation. Who cares about exaltation from man? It's about the Most High. He the one that gives the exaltation. So we see here that the serpent, the dragon, the devil, and Satan deceive the whole world. And the beast, you can add the beast along. That's America. The beast, the beast that Revelation is talking about. And if it was so, why didn't he put the United States of America in the Bible? Because he don't want everybody to know this. It's prophesied these last days. Just like the prophets came and they prophesied and the people didn't believe it. You're going to see all this is in the Bible. Concerning people looking at those individuals, the messengers of the Most High, as being nothing. Or less than nothing, because they chose to live their life for the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, and the people, the children of Israel, and not to go out there and deal with what the world is dealing with. The rich and the famous, and to be all of that. No, the Most High didn't call nobody like that into this truth. You look at the ones I see that's rich, they go to the wrong people. And if they do come, you got to treat them right. You can't just take advantage of them, which that's been done too, I've heard. So you got to be right in the eyes of the Most High, period, with our people. Because the Most High eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, watching, beholding everything that we do. That's why we ain't getting away with nothing. Look at St. John 7 and 7. St. John 7 and 7. The world cannot hate you, but me and hate it. That's what Mashiach Yahushua, the anointed Savior, who the world calls Jesus Christ, this black man that came in the flesh to save the children of Israel. He said, the world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. Hear that? The works that's in this world are evil. And we can really testify of it today. See, go ye up unto this feast. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come. So, what feast is he talking about? Letting you know, for all you Christians out there, what you should be following. You're going to follow what Mashiach Yahushua. Verse 2. Now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand. You see? What do you know about that? You say you Christ-like. You're dealing with Christ. Supposed to be a Christian. You're supposed to be dealing with what Christ would do. You see what it was? It was the Feast of Tabernacles. Don't make up some kind of feast and say this Feast of Tabernacles on your own. It's all in Leviticus 23rd chapter. All the feasts are in the Bible of what we should be doing. So if you're a Gentile, you think we're going to not be doing the same things? I've showed you. We're going to be doing the same things in the kingdom when he comes. And those that don't come, not going to receive any blessings. I mean, he's going to do you away. He's going to get rid of you. So how are you rehearsing what it is that a Mashiach Yahushua done? He never said, celebrate my birthday. Where's that in the Bible? When he said, do this in remembrance of me, what was he dealing with? His death. He rose on the third day, walked the earth for 40 days, and went to the right-hand side of the Most High unto this day, waiting on the Most High to really tell him to rise up, Chroma Mashiach Yahushua, and go and judge and make war and bring righteousness on this earth for 1,000 years. That's our power. You see, he was going up to the Feast of Tabernacles. He celebrated the Feast of Dedication during this time, during the winter time. You see, Feast of Tabernacles around would be our fall time. Feast of Dedication is during the time of winter. So look at how the devil did it. And now, because you got to understand, when you understand Psalms 96 and 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So all the nations deal with idolatry. That's what the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10 and 2. Learn not the way of the heathen. Learn not the way of the heathen. These other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. You see what I'm saying? So that's the stars, the moon, the sun. That's what a lot of their symbolism is dealing with, and their worship is dealing with worshiping the heavens, the things in the heavens, and so forth. That's why we can't do that. So how do you do it? Look at Romans 1 and 25. Romans 1 and 25. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie? Who changed the truth of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua into a lie? And worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Hallelujah. So how is it that the truth has been changed into a lie? I mean, we can look at it. You can look at it any way you want to, but what First Maccabees 3:48 says, and open up and they open, and let me read it. I mean, who changed this truth to a lie? Mashiach Yahushua tells you in Matthew 15:24 said, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So now, First Maccabees 3:48. First Maccabees 3:48. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie? Who did this? First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. See? So Hamashiach Abishai was not a so-called European, a so-called white man. He was a so-called black man. Revelation 1:15 says that his feet like a refined brass that they burn in the furnace. Verse 14 says he had hair of wool. So he couldn't be a Caucasian. And ever since 2000, I've been talking to everyone. I asked them, do you think the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, is a white man going to come back to this earth and set righteousness up on this earth? And most Europeans, all of them, matter of fact, all of them say no. They laugh. They smile and laugh and no. They say no. I haven't had one say yes. So, then they say that he couldn't have been a white man because he was born in the Middle East. But yet still, who is it that's going against it? To see the whole world. Our people love it. That's our program. We have been brain polluted. Don't be talking no brain wash. Because Mashiach Rashai said, now you are clean through the word which I speak unto you in John 15:3. So you're not washed, you're polluted in the way you think. Your mind's been polluted. Brain polluted with lies. That's why even this holiday that you call a holiday, and you look at holiday, you know, you learn in your English, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y. So they changed, we had holy day, they changed the Y into an I. You see? A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. So they changed the Y into an I and call it holidays, which represent holy days for them. But see, our people don't recognize that because you destroy it for lack of knowledge. As it says in Hosea 4:6. That's why we got to bring, in these last days, this truth back to our people. It's very important. Look at Romans 1:25 again. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. You see, so they did it. Go to Daniel 7:25. This is how they work their little magic, as they call it, because they deal with witchcraft and sorcery and all the things that Isaiah, the 47th chapter, identifies them in doing. It says, Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. We were wore out in slavery. Come on. From sun up to sundown, we worked till we just died. And think to change times and laws. And we went over, you know, what Antiochus Epiphanes did and what Ptolemy did in Egypt and so forth, in changing our laws. They didn't want nobody to keep the laws. Matter of fact, couldn't even say that you was an Israelite or be put to death. That's during the Greek Empire. So by the time Mashiach Rashai came, it's the Roman Empire. Our people were already programmed to be Gentiles. That's why you see Paul's writings is going to the Israelites that's in these different lands that will call themselves what? Gentiles. Because they've been programmed. If your daddy, your mama say, no, you ain't Israel, you're a Gentile, just like it is today. Our people are really the Israelites. The Most High raised up Judah predominantly to bring forth this truth to all Israelites. Whether you like it or whether you forbear, hear or forbear. This is what he has done. Because he said he's going to raise up the tents of Judah first. So that's what you're hearing. And that's what you're seeing. And this word is true. Every word of the Most High is pure. That's what you see coming across. So he says, Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, claiming that he's the Most High. You can't deny it because you open up the Bibles, and whose picture's in there? It's the so-called white man's picture. He's speaking words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. The saints of the Most High are the children of Israel. Psalms 148:14. And think to change times and laws. That's why you think to change times. Come on. Daylight savings times. You know, clock got to go back. Then the clock got to go up. You added days to the year. 360 days to the year. That's a complete circle. 30, 30, 30 all day long times 12 is 360. Most High, he's not the author of confusion. You got 65 days, and every 4 years you got 365 days, and every 4 years you have 366 days. Come on. Times and laws. We read how Antiochus Epiphanes was saying, hey, he was doing everything he could in sacrificing swine flesh to their gods and so forth, and abominable beasts to their gods, that we could forget the laws of the Most High. Anybody that kept the law, as a matter of fact, they tore the Bibles up, the Old Testament up, and burnt the Bibles. Anybody that was caught having a Bible was put to death. And it was against the law, as I read to you in Second Maccabees, the 6th chapter, to even claim to be an Israelite. This is the Greek Empire. So by the time Mashiach Abishai came on the earth, all this had been going for hundreds of years. 100 years. That's why they couldn't accept him. Because it was so programmed by what it was that they were dealing with the Pharisees and the scribes and Sadducees and the chief high priests rolling with the who? The Romans. That's why they say they're scared of losing their power with the Romans, and the people are not going to follow them. Behind what Mashiach Abishai came to correct them. That's why they say your righteousness must exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So they got to exceed them, their righteousness. So this is what they did. They changed times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time. This is the time is 100, times is 200, and dividing of time is 50. That's 350 years. That's when we started to wake up to learn who we were as the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? And that's the amount of time that he had to be able to destroy us. But you see, he didn't destroy everyone because we're coming back to this truth, to the Most High's law, statutes, commandments in these last days. Look at, and how did he do it? Look at Daniel's 4:17. This matter, Daniel's 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living, we're the living, may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men. That's why he allowed the basis of men to rule last in his kingdom on this earth. So when you look at Luke, the 4th chapter, and we're going to read from 5 to 8. So since the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and set up over it the basis of men, this is what Satan said to Mashiach Yahushua. Luke 4 and 5. And the devil, taking him who was a Mashiach Yahushua up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, including the kingdom that we see in this earth today. He showed him all the kingdoms in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. Who delivered it to? Satan, the devil, the Most High. Because remember, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So he said, give it to the bases of men, right? So he gave it to Satan. So he said, it's delivered unto me. Because we ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And to whomsoever I will, I give it. So it's not a contradiction. It's really, you know, the Most High say he give it to the bases of men. So the evilest of evil is Satan. It's the devil. So he gave it to him. And he said, hey, he can give it to whoever he will. There's a condition. If thou, which is you, therefore will worship me, all shall be thine. So that you know, when they come into power, they got to worship Satan. That's why you see all the wickedness that's in this earth. Because they worship Satan. They bow down to Satan. They don't know the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The elite. They deal on the left-hand side of the Most High. Verse 8, and the Mashiach answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, your power, Satan, and him only shalt thou serve. Satan, you see what I'm saying? What did he use though? He used the law. Every time Satan confronted him, you can read this in Luke the 4th chapter and Matthew the 4th chapter, he went to the law of the Most High to rebuke Satan. Now, you Christians out there taught that you're not under the law, so how can you rebuke Satan anytime? Since you don't know the law, you ain't going to the law to find out what the law says, to be able to say to him, to get him to back up off you. Because that's what the Mashiach did. He had fasted 40 days and 40 nights. He was weak. And every time Satan came to him, the devil came to him, what did he do? He went to the law. Every single time. These are key things to let you know the devil has deceived the whole world. And you that fall into that pit, you're going to die and be thrown in the lake of fire with him. Because you're part of his angels. Because men are angels too. You see, women angels. So you're going to fall into the pit with him. With the Most High, have a Mashiach cast him into the lake of fire. He said, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. Hopefully that's not you, Israel. So, look at Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, the 2nd chapter, in the 24th verse. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 24. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. You hear that? Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. Remember he said, hey, you will not surely die. He told Eve that. The day that you eat of it, you're going to be as gods, knowing good and evil. But the Most High had told her, the day that you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. That's why it says, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. It's like Cain. That evil one, he killed his brother Abel. Esau vowed to kill his brother Jacob once they buried Isaac, our forefather. He didn't do it when he met him, but he put that vow out there, and his people, they surely are fulfilling it and have fulfilled it. So let's go to Jeremiah, the 44th chapter. But see, when you look at this Christmas, it's throughout the years, a lot of things have, the names have changed, but it still go all the way back to Nimrod. Building that tower, the Nimrod that built the Tower of Babel. In Genesis, the 11th chapter, Nimrod, who had a son by the name of Tammuz by his mother, Semiramis. Nimrod died before his mother, Semiramis. And she said the life of Nimrod is in this tree. That's why you bring that Christmas tree into your house. It represents a god, an idol. And all the gods of the nations are idols. Psalm 96:5 says that, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So here you are doing the things that the Most High said don't do in Jeremiah 10, the 10th chapter, 1-5. We went over that already. So I'm not gonna go over that again. I just want to show you a lot of what we were doing and how the Most High felt about it and doing the things that we done. Jeremiah 44:1. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews which dwelt in the land of Egypt, which dwelt at Migdol, and at Tahpanhes, and at Noph, and in the country of Patros, saying, thus said the Most High Power of hosts, the power of Israel, ye have seen all the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, and upon all the cities of Judah. And behold, this day they are a desolation, and no man dwelleth therein. Hear what he said? He said, you have seen all the evil that he brought upon the land of Jerusalem in Israel. And that is desolate, as it is today. The true Israel is desolate. It says, because of their wickedness, which they have committed, to provoke me to anger. So when you break the laws of the Most High, you provoke him to anger. And that they went to burn incense and to serve other gods or other idols. When he said, learn not the way of the heathen, what do? We went burn incense to other gods. And the gods were gods, the gods of the nations, whom they knew not. Like a lot of you didn't know nothing about these religions that you jump into. Same thing in modern day, as we live in today. Because Most High didn't give us religion. He gave us laws, statutes, commandments, rules, and regulations. 613 laws, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws. The law of sacrifice was done away with when the Mashiach Yahushua, the Lamb of the Most High, gave his precious blood up for the sins of the 12 tribes of Israel. Period. So, and to serve other gods whom they knew not, neither they, know your fathers. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. So he's saying, that's what we're telling you now. Don't do the abominable things of celebrating these holidays like Christmas, Easter, and so forth. It has nothing to do with what the Most High told us to do in this Bible. But our people want to do what they do. That's why he said, hey, he sent his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. Say, don't do the things that I hate, these wicked acts that I hate. But what Israel do? Look at 2 Chronicles 36. 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. He said, don't do these abominable things that I hate. It says, and the Most High power of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes quickly and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place, because he loved the 12 tribes of Israel. He had compassion on us, and he sent his prophets to tell us. But they mock the messengers of the Most High. See, they mock the prophets of the Most High like a lot of you mock us today. And despise his words and misuse his prophets until the wrath of the Most High arose against his people. Till there was no remedy. See that? So there was no remedy. But see, we want to continue to do the things that what feel good to us. Jeremiah, the 7th chapter. I mean, Christmas not nothing new. The customs of the tree is all the way back in Jeremiah 10, 1 to 5. Going all the way back to Genesis, the 11th chapter. From Nimrod, when the Babylonians were ruling. Jeremiah 7 and 25. Jeremiah 7 and 25. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, unto this day. I like the way the Most High say unto this day, because it still follows suit with us today. I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Early. We'll be getting the secrets of the Most High early. He said he rise up early and bring forth his spirit to us. Yet they hearken not unto me. They ain't listen, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. It's getting worse and worse. So they did worse than their fathers. The things that they're doing today, oh, he's talking about then, shoot, now, whoo, really worse than our forefathers. Therefore, thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to you. See, they ain't gonna listen to you. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. So they ain't gonna answer. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Most High their power, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished. The laws of the Most High is perished. And is cut off from their mouth. It's cut off from their mouth. Because they're doing whatever they want to do. How they want to do it. And then they're going to cry when the Most High deal with them with his wrath. And ain't nothing you can do to stop his wrath. See, once you're in the Most High, that's why I say it's a fearful thing to fall into the hand of the living power, the Most High. Jeremiah 42 and 17. So shall it be with all the men that set their faces to go into Egypt, to sojourn there. You want to put your trust in the shadow of Egypt? You want to follow the way of the heathen? Because Egypt means captivity, slavery, bondage. To sojourn there, they shall die by the sword. You want to put your trust in Egypt? And we went back to Egypt, trusting in the Egyptians, their gods and so forth. They shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, diseases, and none of them shall remain or escape from the evil that I will bring upon them. See, you understand the Most High created evil for those that he gonna bring evil upon, because you're not following what he say do. For thus said the Most High power of hosts, the power of Israel, as mine anger and my fury have been poured forth upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so shall my fury be poured forth upon you when ye shall enter into Egypt, and ye shall be in execration, in an astonishment, in a curse, and a reproach, and ye shall see this place no more. That's why you ain't seeing your homeland of Israel no more. Not as a nation. So we're going to be all these things, a disgrace, this, people looking at us like a byword. Like we're nothing. And we're the chosen people of the Most High. But we ain't want to listen to him, so here we are. The Most High have said concerning you, O ye remnant of Judah, go ye not into Egypt. Know certainly that I have admonished you this day. For you dissemble in your hearts when ye sent me unto the power, your power, saying, pray for us unto the most high power of Israel. Our power. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All people saying, pray for us to the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they don't want to do what he say do. And according unto all that the most high our power shall say, so declare unto us, and we will do it. Yeah, right. And now I have this day declared it to you, but ye have not obeyed the voice of the Most High your power, nor anything for the which he has sent me unto you. You see how quickly they say, oh, we're going to follow whatever he say do. Jeremiah came back and told him, and now I have this day declared it to you. So I done told you what he said. But ye have not obeyed the voice of our power, the Most High, nor anything for the which he hath sent me unto you. Now therefore know certainly that ye shall die by the sword. So all you say that you ain't got to follow the Most High, you ain't got to follow his laws, you better hear this lesson. It say, therefore, know certainly, that's for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that ye shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilent diseases. Famine is food shortage. Pestilent diseases, in the place whither ye desire to go and to sojourn, wherever you are. And we scatter in the four corners of the earth, people. Jeremiah 19:4. That's why it's very important to know what's right according to the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, his rules and regulations. Jeremiah 19:4. Because they have forsaken me. Because they have forsaken me. Who's the me? The Most High. They have forsaken the Most High and have estranged this place and have burned incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. Sad. You see, that's sad, because when you look at Psalms 106:35, the Most High told us in Jeremiah, learn not to wear the heathen. But Psalm 106:35 says, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. See, they didn't obey the voice of the Most High. And they served their idols, their gods, their idols. We served their idols, which were a snare or trap unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. You hear that? Sacrifice our sons and daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. So, this is what we did. The children of Israel. We sacrificed our sons and our daughters in the fire. And that's right around this time that we were doing this. That's why they came with the Yule log and so forth. All that was sacrificing our children, sons and daughters unto devils, to their gods, Molech and so forth, all the different gods that they had set up. It was a trap for us, just like it's a trap today. when you're doing these things. So we read from Psalms 106, 35 to 38, showing how we sacrifice our sons and our daughters unto devils. Verse 38, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, which is gods, the gods that they believed in. And the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. See the things that we done? The Most High, you go see the Most High hated us for this. Therefore was the wrath of the Most High kindled against his people. Talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance. He hated us for not following his laws, statutes, commandments. For doing all these abominable things, as we heard earlier. Unto this day. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, which are the nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. They're called Gentiles or nations. Goyim, or like the Jewish people like to say Goyim, you see. And they that hated them ruled over them. See? They that hate us ruling over us. They love us because we're the chosen people of the Most High. Verse 42, their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. But to this day, our enemies oppressing us, and we brought into subjection under their hand, telling us we got to follow their traditions of Christmas. You see? That was so much debauchery. And I mean, when you look at what they were doing, even in the, go all the way back to the Greek Empire, you can see what they were doing. This is what they were doing in Christmas. On the 25th day of this 12th month. We call it Caslu. But this is what they were doing. For those that don't know. 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter. And we're going to read verse 4. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, by these other nations, these heathens, who dallied with harlots, that's prostitutes. And what do prostitutes do? Sell their body for money, have sex for money, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. You see, they were having sex in the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, like which you could read how they sacrificed swine flesh to their idols, to their gods, and unclean beasts to their gods. And they made Israel do the same thing. But Israel wanted to do it because they were wicked men that persuaded many to follow the way of the heathen against the laws of the Most High. That's why I say let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. You know, are you out there that still following that same suit of those that were wicked back in the Greek Empire, and you living now? You the same spirits, just different flesh. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Don't that sound like us today? You Christians out there, you don't keep the Sabbath days, you don't keep the ancient feasts, and we just finished with Feast of Dedication. You getting ready for Christmas, something that the heathens have set up for you to follow. Why the Most High say he hated us, he abhorred us for doing the things that we're doing, following the way of the heathen, learning the way of the heathen. It was a trap, and it still is a trap. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. See? You couldn't even say you was an Israelite, because they put you to death. How about that? Now listen, this is one of the 4 birthdays that I found on the birthday. It says, in the Bible, it says, and in the day of the king's birth, which is birthday, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifice, eat swine flesh and unclean food. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, that's a god, the Jews were compelled to go in possession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. See? So, moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy, one of Alexander's 4 generals that he set up to rule once he died, against the Jews. So this decree went out against the Jews, the Israelites, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. And believe me, they were doing this on the same day that you observing Christmas. Listen, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles of these heathens should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the misery, the present misery that that came upon us. That's why we got to really look at what we have been dealing with and looking back into the past so we can operate correctly in the present and most certainly for the future. Deuteronomy 28 and 20. So if you ain't followed this, you were put to death. While we had to flee from this type of madness. Deuteronomy 28 and 20. The Most High shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. See, we rather follow the idols of these other nations. The Most High say, you have forsaken me. You realize that when you operating under the spell of the heathen, you forsaken the Most High. He gave us days to honor him. The Sabbath day, every 7th day. Look at your calendar. You'll see the 7th day is not the first day that you go to church on. So he told us all these days